White men are the mental health problem in this country. Jim Crow, white men. Slavery, white men. Segregation, white men. Concentration camps for Asian Americans in the late 30s and early 40s. 1,800 people died. How many black people were hung from trees? 8,000. Let me guess. Oh yeah, once again, white men. The gun violence? 98% are men. 84% are white men, U.S. citizens. I see a trend. How about the Middle Passage where 1.2 African Americans died? Oh yeah, once again, white men. Why was the Second Amendment written? Let me think. So black people couldn't have their freedoms. So the white men could once again control them. Who's in the White House? An adjudicated rapist, convicted felon white man. Wow, I see a trend. But somehow Americans are just begging to blame a trans person, a non-white person. See, what happened to George Floyd is symbolic of what's happening in this country. The white man putting his knee on the neck of a non-white person and sitting there in broad daylight with the balls to say, who's going to stop me? And that's what we're seeing right now. So that's the question that we need to ask ourselves as a fucking country. Who's going to stop them? Because I'm just one person here. Now, I don't know about you, but I got friends and family that are sitting behind the white privilege, and I want nothing to do with them. Not because of who they are, because their lack of action. Martin Luther King said, history is going to remember not the people that did bad things, but the good people that stood by and did nothing. Because once again, the white man is hiding behind their privilege while everybody else is getting treated like absolute fucking garbage. Because it doesn't affect me. You don't even want to go on a general strike to stop fascism. Oh, I can't work. Oh, I got a job. White man is the mental health crisis in the United States of America. It has been since day one. When you look at the majority of them, what do you see? A bunch of insecure little wannabe alpha males with small penises that need big trucks and guns to feel like a real man. That's the real problem, is toxic masculinity. That the white man feels unable to shit on everyone's rights just because of how they look. It's ironic, isn't it, that they demonize black people because they're black on the outside, and yet their hearts are black on the inside. Isn't that ironic? And every single time we see a mass shooting, they're just salivating on the white supremacist red hatters to say, oh my gosh, it was an immigrant, it was a trans person, it was a gay people. 84% of gun violence is white men. But when it happens, like at the church the other day, what happens? Oh, thoughts and prayers. But what happened with the racist podcaster? Oh, they were just dying for it to be somebody on the left so they can just blame somebody else. And a white man. The Catholic, the church yesterday, a white man, a white man, a white man, a white man, a white man. Ahmaud Arbery, guess what? 3 white men that chased out a black guy. Breonna Taylor, oh, a white cop. Again, and again, and again, and again, and again. It's the same demographic. White men are the problem in this fucking country. And until we address the real mental health epidemic, which is white supremacy, built on white men controlling people, because that's how this country was designed. For 21-year-old land-owning white men to shit on everybody else. This country was designed to benefit my demographic, and that is not okay. That is the original sin of this country. And until we address it, we will never be a great country, and we haven't been a great country. And if you don't like that, then you can ship.
Why have white Americans been afraid to start or celebrate White History Month?
Oh, there's so many reasons, but really, I think it starts in the public schools when we're little. We've just really been conditioned into this kind of suicidal tendency, culturally suicidal tendency of like hating ourselves. And so most white people that hear anything positive about white culture, history, or the white race immediately kind of have this reflexive reaction of negativity. We've been really shamed as a race and a people to not appreciate our own heritage and be able to talk about that and to talk about being proud or happy or content with our ancestors and our culture and where we come from and what we've done as a people.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel once again. So guys, in today's video we are going to see this compilation of video from white people. They have come out and they are confessing how they are miserable because of their ugly past. So majority of them, they are coming now and regret and knowing that whatever they have been doing in the past to the black people, how they have been oppressing black people, how they have been voting against their own interests, how they have been voting just to punish black people, how they have been voting for racism. So right now they are coming out and they are confessing they have been living ugly in the past. The things that they have been doing, they are coming out and confessing. So kindly guys, I want you to watch this video till the end, then I'll be back with more comment. All credits goes to the original creator of the video. I'm your host Dash Lifestyle. Remember, this video is only for educational purpose.
We need to say the truth. White people have never been clean. Not now, not ever. The entire history of Europe is a story of people refusing to wash their asses while looking down on everyone else. Let's start with the ancestors you worship so much. Medieval and early modern Europeans. People so filthy they were literally scared of water. They believed that bathing opened the pores and let in disease, so instead of washing, they simply wiped themselves down with dry rags and perfume. Imagine thinking water is bad for you while living in streets filled with feces and piss. Doctors warned against bathing, saying that it was too stimulating and would weaken the body. Instead, they told people to rub themselves with dry powders or just change their linens and call it a day. King Louis XIV of France, the Sun King, bathed twice in his entire life. Let that sink in. The most powerful man in Europe smelled like a rotting corpse dipped in cologne. Queen Isabella of Spain also bragged about only bathing twice in her entire life. These people ruled empires while literally festering in their own filth. You want to call other people savages? Let's talk about their hygiene habits, or lack thereof. They didn't wash their clothes. They just aired them out like letting filth touch fresh air was some kind of magical cleaning method. They slept in lice-infested beds and wore the same sweat-soaked, piss-stained clothing for weeks or months at a time. Queen Elizabeth I bragged about only changing her undergarments once a month. Her whole palace must have smelled like a backed-up sewer. Their mouths? A disaster. Europeans didn't brush their teeth. At all. By the time they were 30, their mouths were full of blackened, rotting stumps. King James I of England's breath was so bad, people would write him letters telling him how unbearable it was to be near him. Meanwhile, at the exact same time, indigenous Americans, Africans, and Asians were bathing daily, cleaning their teeth with herbs, and wearing fresh clothes. But Europeans pulled up smelling like roadkill and still had the audacity to call everyone else dirty. Let's talk about the cities you love to glorify: Paris, London, and Rome. These places were open cesspools. People threw their shit and piss into the streets because they didn't have proper sewage systems. London's Thames River was literally so full of human waste that it became toxic. In 1858, the Parliament had to shut down because of the stench, called the Great Stink, was so unbearable. Paris? Just as bad. The streets were covered with garbage, excrement, and dead animals. It was so bad that the air itself was dangerous to breathe. Meanwhile, at the exact same time, the Aztecs had running water, street cleaners, and aqueducts bringing fresh water into the city. So tell me again, who are the real savages? But let's not pretend this filth is just in the past. White people are still dirty today. You have to be convinced to wash your legs in the shower. Doctors are telling you to wash your damn feet because so many of you think that you can just let the water trickle down and that's enough. The 2020s exposed how many white celebrities don't bathe daily. Ashton Kutcher, Christian Bell, Jake Gyllenhaal, all proudly claiming they don't shower unless they see dirt. White parents are still proudly saying that they only bathe their kids when they start to smell. Imagine raising the next generation of walking biohazards. You normalized wearing outside clothes to bed, spreading whatever germs you caught from the outside world directly onto your sheets. You go to bed without washing your hands, your face, or brushing your teeth, and wonder why your skin looks like a medieval battlefield. Meanwhile, Black, Latino, Asian, and indigenous cultures have always prioritized hygiene. Africans were using shea butters, scented oils, and natural soaps before Europeans even knew what soap was. Indigenous Americans bathed in rivers daily using herbal cleansers. South Asian and Middle Eastern cultures developed some of the earliest bathhouses, perfumes, and skincare regimens. Latinos are known for showering twice a day and keeping their homes spotless. And yet, white people still have the nerve to act like they invented civilization. The reality? You have never been clean. Your ancestors weren't clean. Your great-grandparents weren't clean. Your hygiene habits, questionable at best. Cope.
White people? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about our violence. White violence. No more deflecting. No more blaming everything on everybody else. Let's confront ourselves. White people in America, our history is so extremely violent. And instead of confronting that, we continue to blame other people for the issues and the problems in this country, instead of just taking ownership of our part to play in everything, which is a huge part. Can we stop scapegoating other groups of people, please, and just look at ourselves? White people, it's time to talk about it. Like, it's long past time. Getting rid of other groups of people in this country is not going to make this country better. It's not going to make your life better. It's not going to make you better. I think white people are so scared to talk about race and to talk about white violence and white supremacy because they don't want to connect themselves to it. We don't want to feel like we're a part of the problem. But unless you're acknowledging the reality of how the US, this country, runs, you are a part of the problem. I truly believe in my heart, in my soul, that if you're born a white person in this country or on this planet, but I'll just speak about this country, part of that journey is to dismantle systems that have been built to oppress other people. The hard work of life is to confront yourself. How do I benefit from the way that things are? And how does my benefiting from those things harm other people? And instead of walking around with, 1,000-pound bag of shame on your back, consider it your responsibility to do that work. Consider it an opportunity that you are in the best possible position to make this world a better place by not accepting racist and prejudiced and oppressive systems for what they are and trying to contribute to changing them. Use the privilege that you have for good. I don't think that anybody can ever really love themselves without being honest about themselves, without being honest with themselves. And that work is painful and hard, but it's so worth it. White people, you don't have to consciously think that you're better than other people in order to contribute to harm against them. All it takes to contribute to harm is to stay silent and disengaged. White people, can we finally get this shit right? Can we finally take accountability? Can we finally look ourselves in the mirror and decide that this isn't good enough? We're not doing a good enough job. You aren't losing because somebody else is safe and cared for. You aren't losing because somebody different than you exists. White people, let's talk about it. Let's start having these conversations with ourselves and with each other. It's time.
Can we talk about how miserable white people are for a second? Like, you know that white people are miserable, right? Like, have you ever looked a white person in the eye, even if they're like a big mental health person? You just look deep down and you're like, brother, you are not happy at all. And truly, it breaks my heart. But one reason, I think, one of the main reasons that a lot of white people, a lot of us are really unhappy and miserable is because we lack internal congruence. Now, congruence is a concept we learned early in grad school to help people heal. And congruence is basically internal alignment. Values and actions are on the same page, right? Like, we accept every part of ourselves. We feel peace, security in who we are, congruence. And no matter how hard you try, you can never find internal congruence if you're not congruent with the world around you. If you're not understanding what's real and seeing reality and affirming what's true. So like white people who deny patriarchy and capitalism's negative effect and oppression of the world and genocide that's happening around the world, like that's incongruent with reality. That is going to have an effect on us internally. Because to deny what's happening in real time, we have to deny certain parts of us, certain emotions, certain thoughts that come up. And the more we run for that, the more incongruent and separate we feel, the more dissonance that comes, the more miserable we are. And a lot of times we're not actually dealing with our own pain and our own reality, because we're all suffering under capitalism and white supremacy. Like, it affects us different ways in intersectionality, but like, it affects us white people too. You don't think a stormtrooper in the fucking Star Wars movies hates his life? You don't think he hates being bossed around all the time? You don't think poor white people living in the empire, like in a city walls, like in a Game of Thrones, like you don't think that they're miserable under it, even though they're not miserable the most? To be congruent inside, to not be miserable anymore, it takes accepting the realities of the world, seeing how those toxic systems affect us, and then moving to actually be congruent. Because deep down, humanity has goodness at its center. So yeah, white people, we're miserable because we're not congruent, because we're denying the realities of the world, and thus denying ourselves.
Might be a hot take, but a lot of white people are not happy. I'm Kylie, and I grew up in a very conservative area. I wanted to say that a lot of white people genuinely live some of the most miserable and isolated lives that you could even imagine. I think there are 3 reasons for this. The first is that there is just a general idea of just hyper-individualism and hoarding of resources. A lot of them are extremely stingy, don't tip well, and also don't donate to local charities. They're very isolated, and what few friends they have, their connection is built upon shared bigotry, which is obviously not a strong connection. Number 2, a lot of white people feel a sense of emptiness. They have the job, the car, the career, the kids, the Bible, but they don't feel that sense of fulfillment. I think it's because the subliminal messaging that white people get from birth is that they're so much better than everybody else. And once you're in that sort of position, you will not allow yourself to open up to other people and opportunities that would genuinely bring you joy and fulfillment. And the third reason is that a lot of white people genuinely feel like equality is the oppression of white people. That means other people getting rights means that some of ours get taken away somehow, which obviously isn't true, and shows the hyper-competitive nature of being white in America.
Man, I tell you what, nothing makes racist white people more pissed off than me, a white person, trying to educate about racism and trying to educate about what white privilege is and all these things. And it's so funny because these same people will argue with me till they are blue in the face about how they're not racist and we don't live in a racist institution and black and brown people have it so easy and racism doesn't exist anymore. But then they will turn around and say the most racist, ignorant, vile shit you've ever heard in your life. The disconnect is amazing. And this is why I make content like this, because it's so important, because we do live in a racist institution and we are all raised in racism as white people. This is simply a fact. And the crazy part about it is every one of us knows this. Even the ones who will sit there and fight with me to the death about it and act like it doesn't exist. Y'all know white people are racist. Y'all know about the casual racism, the casual microaggressions that we are raised in, no matter where we live in this United States of America. And this is why I will never stop. I will never stop trying to educate as a white person about racism and how we need to learn. We need to evolve. We need to do better. It's almost as if they feel like admitting to a racist institution or admitting to racism makes them this evil, terrible person. And so they would rather double down than to grow and be a good person. And that's so bad, because all that says to me is that you have a small mind and a cowardly soul. And I wish better for you than that, truly, because everything in your life will get better when you stop being so ignorant.
The majority of school blank and mass blank that are happening across this country are being committed by white boys. So let me ask you this. If you're a parent, white women, what are we doing? Because this year in April, I got married, and in doing so became a bonus mom of 2 beautiful little boys. And I have to tell you, every day we're combating messaging. Every day we're working on sharing emotions, expressing anger. We're working on things as parents to ensure that we are raising emotionally healthy, mature, communicative young men in the future. So I'm really concerned that that's not happening. What I'm understanding is that yes, this is 100% a pew-pew access to pew-pew problem, but as a culture, we are raising violent human beings. The overexposure and glorification of violence in our households has to stop. You have got to get a hold of what we are showing, teaching, exposing our children to, and being better, more present parents, because this is a problem in white households. So if we are white parents, we have to do something about it.
This is why people don't trust white people, because it is peak whiteness and colonizer behavior to demand civility for a man who denies others their humanity. That's the oppressor, and we do not need to sympathize or empathize with them. And don't get me wrong, because I long for a world where there is no violence in it. But until all of us are free, none of us are free. And violence is part of the equation because of the oppressor, not the oppressed. We need to understand that violence comes in many forms, and white people need to learn it most of all. And if none of that is enough to convince you, then how about the fact that Charlie Kirk said empathy is a made-up New Age word that does harm, and that is the one directive of his that I am willing to honor.
No more complaining about how hard it is to be a white guy. Do you understand how insulting that is? It's so hard to be a white guy right now. We just won the right to do what we want with our bodies 50 years ago, and it's being taken away from us today. So don't call us hysterical. We're not hysterical, okay? We're not hysterical. Your opinions on racism and sexism are irrelevant. You're not the victims of that. You're the perpetrators.
I think white people think that other people want to be them. I think they think other people want to be white. They actually think that people are looking at them ordering Charlie Kirks at Starbucks in a show of solidarity and thinking, God, I wish that was fucking me. They think people want to be like them. Bro, nobody wants to be like white people.
Have you ever wondered why the narcissist is so unhappy, why they're so miserable and so dissatisfied with their lives? And the sad thing is they refuse to change because they don't blame themselves for their unhappiness. They blame you for their unhappiness. They think they know better at all times. And they think if you would just accept the fact that they know better and go along with it, then life would just be peachy. They don't want your love. They want your obedience. They may even have thought they wanted your love in the beginning, but that's just not the case. They truly, truly think that if you just go along with all their scams and schemes and lies and their unnormal behavior and you just accepted it, they blame you, not themselves, for not accepting being treated like shit. Here's the crazy thing. In the beginning, during the love bombing phase of the relationship, they really truly did think that they were in love with you. They thought they found their soulmate just like you did. But the minute you went against them, the minute you spoke your mind, had an opinion of your own, or didn't accept one of their behaviors, the mask came off all the way, and that was the day they decided that their life's mission was to make you completely miserable for not being the person that they thought you were. And because you're not the person that they thought you were, which was somebody that was just gonna accept them for who they really are, which who's gonna do that, right? That's the day they decided you weren't good enough and they were out looking for a new supply. It may take them 5 years to find a better supply than you, but eventually that's the day they needed to get attention from everybody else. That's the day that they needed to literally use you and possibly your children as their doormat to crap all over whenever they wanted. That's the day they decided that you were going to be their main form of supply until they found somebody that they think can fix them, right? But we all know nobody can fix a narcissist. They would have to want to fix themselves. So every relationship they get into, they are going to face the same thing. It is a bad movie. It's like Groundhog Day for a narcissist, because it is over and over and over again, because very few people on this earth are going to put up with it, right? Eventually, everyone has a breaking point. It took me 15 years, but I finally had one. This is why you'll see people leave narcissistic relationships 25 years in, 30 years in, and half the time it's not even that they chose to leave, it's that the narcissist found another form of supply they thought was better, that could fix them. But I just want you to know that if you're in this place of the narcissist left you, just know that they're never going to be happy. Because one of the things I always ask myself is, Why does he always come out on top? Why has karma never caught this guy? Believe me, I've watched it play out, and I've talked to so many victims over the last 7 years, and I've watched their lives play out and their exes' lives play out, and karma always comes. Narcissists always come. It comes. I promise. They're living their karma, whether you know that or not. They're so miserable inside all the time. They're living their karma as we speak. But I promise you, narcissists only get worse with age, and most of them end up dying alone, unfortunately. It's a sad thing, but they caused it, right? So just know karma's there. They're getting it, and they're just going to keep on getting it because it's Groundhog Day.
White people are the most miserable fucking people on the face of this fucking earth, and also the most fucking judgy. What the fuck is wrong with y'all? And I know I am one of y'all, but I'm not gonna say us because this is a part I am not part of. I'm not a miserable motherfucker. I mean, white women especially. I mean, like, so many women on that pew pew post I did about MAGA Man, they're like, why do you need a pew pew? What's wrong with you? Blah, 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 blah. And the other thing is, like, you know, these women who on the post where I cuss, like, why do you have to cuss so much? Why are you cussing? And then when I chew my gum, like, why are you chewing gum? That's so disgusting. Spit that gum out. I mean, it's just bitching about some shit all the fucking time. As I learned very early on here from a black woman who said this, and I've repeated it since, if it don't apply, scroll on by. If you don't like me chewing fucking gum, if you don't like me saying fuck, if you don't like me having a pew pew, I don't need to fucking know about it. Just scroll the fuck on. I don't care what you think about me, or me owning a pew pew, or me chewing gum, or me saying fuck 500 times in a video. It's not your business, and I don't care. So just save yourself the however many minutes of energy that it takes you to type out that comment, Karen, and just scroll on by. And then, of course, we all know white men are the most fucking miserable assholes on the face of this earth. And I've talked about that a lot because they like to come on here and try to drag you when you're not the perfect little white woman.
I'm gonna say this one time real loud with my full chest, so go ahead and hear me out on this one. If working is mandatory, if labor is something we are required to do in order to prove we deserve our existence, if we have no choice but to choose an occupation whether or not we want it, if you are forcing me to sell my body to do somebody else's labor and telling me I have no other choice and neither does anyone else, you shouldn't have any other choice but to give us a roof over our heads, food for our stomachs, and whatever else we need to survive! If you want us to be forced to work, but do not want to guarantee life necessities, that is slavery, you fuckwads! This country loves slavery, they just rebranded it! And don't tell me to leave! I would if I had the fucking money! But that's the whole point of this system, you dumb fucks! Fuck this country!
My hot take of today is that white people actually have a lot of generational trauma, and we've just like normalized it as supremacy. I actually think about this a lot because when I was in my process of like unlearning white supremacy and like the things that it made me believe about myself and like the world and that just made me miserable, I realized that like white people believe this on the regular, and it must make them like really, really tortured inside. Like the other day I made a video about how like growing up in a super white town kind of made me feel like I had to like perform like something inauthentic because I wasn't the norm, right? And this comment didn't really like make me mad or anything, like don't worry about it. I could really tell it was coming from a place of I genuinely do not know what's going on, but this white guy commented and he was like, you should just be yourself, that's not healthy. No, it's not healthy. I think the whole point is that it's not healthy because like when you're like conditioned to believe in a system where one type of person is supposed to be better than all the others, obviously to enforce that system, they're gonna like project everybody that is not that standard, everybody that's not white, they're gonna project self-hatred onto them because it exists within the person that is projecting it. What I'm basically trying to say is that white supremacy can't really exist without a little bit of self-hatred from the white supremacist because why would you feel the need to create a system that enforces that you are superior if you didn't somewhere deep down inside you fear that you weren't superior or that you weren't good enough. All that system really does at the end of the day is create an environment where certain people feel like they need to perform a certain level of perfection to be considered like human, right? But what that does at the end of the day is it removes any value from you if you aren't showing up as perfect. And I thought about this a lot in Sinners, where like that idea of like white supremacy, especially like shown through religion, is like the vampires don't have a soul, and they need the people that are creative, that like the black people that are making music, so that they can find their soul again. Why is that? Because white supremacy stripped them of their soul. And so the result of unlearning a system like that is being able to accept yourself when other people don't like you, or when the standards in place say that you don't deserve respect or things like that. But when you are following that system, you're bound to those rules. You're bound to like other people's opinions of you and like monetary value and things like that. All these things that like at the end of the day are probably going to disappear and will eventually change. You're bound to that as a way to define your worth in this system. And that is unhealthy. That's really unhealthy. But y'all stay safe.
This might be a hot take, but a lot of white people are not happy. I'm Kylie, and I grew up in a very conservative area. I wanted to say that a lot of white people genuinely live some of the most miserable and isolated lives that you could even imagine. I think there are 3 reasons for this. The first is that there is just a general idea of just hyper-individualism and hoarding of resources. A lot of them are extremely stingy, don't tip well, and also don't donate to local charities. They're very isolated, and what few friends they have, their connection is built upon shared bigotry, which is obviously not a strong connection. Number 2, a lot of white people feel a sense of emptiness. They have the job, the car, the career, the kids, the Bible, but they don't feel that sense of fulfillment. I think it's because the subliminal messaging that white people get from birth is that they're so much better than everybody else. And once you're in that sort of position, you will not allow yourself to open up to other people and opportunities that would genuinely bring you joy and fulfillment. And the third reason is that a lot of white people genuinely feel like equality is the oppression of white people. That means other people getting rights means that some of ours get taken away somehow, which obviously isn't true, and shows the hyper-competitive nature of being white in America.
I've been seeing these videos on what it's like to be a white man in America. And this is a topic I can very much talk about. I see a lot of people talking about how hard it is. We live life on easy mode. When was the last time you were stopped in a neighborhood or going into your apartment building and asking if you belong there? When have you ever gone to a pool and somebody said, well, do you have a key to get in? How did you get in here? We have never experienced what it's like to be a minority because we are the majority. And it's crazy to hear people talking about how they grew up poor and they're wondering where their white privilege is. It seems that the understanding of where privilege comes from is the problem. When you go to a job interview as a white person, you are more likely to get that job. Let's say maybe you made some mistakes when you were a kid and you got arrested. You are less likely to be prosecuted because we might be seen as someone with a bright future while others are seen as thugs and criminals even if they've done nothing wrong. And the argument of there's a BET, what if there was a WET? Have you ever watched Fox? The thing is, I used to think this. Why can't you talk about you're proud to be white? You literally can. But because you understand how close white pride is to white power, you realize it's wrong. There's people that are proud to be Mexican. There's people that are proud to be black. There's people that are proud to be a lot of things. There's people that are proud to be Italian or Irish, and no one has a problem with those things. But white pride comes from a heavy burden of what we've done to others. And me personally, I am not proud of that. But I will be proud to fight against the people that put these systems in place and use my privilege.
In case you're new here, I want to make it very clear where my husband and I stand in all of the chaos that is happening here in the United States. And I'm going to say it one more time. We stand with marginalized people. We stand with black people, Hispanic people, trans people, gay people, Muslim people, anyone who is being villainized in this very moment that you can think of. We stand for them. And I am tired as a white woman not seeing enough white people calling out the bullshit that is happening right now. If you've got black friends, Hispanic friends, trans friends, gay friends, and you are being quiet and you are not calling out other white people when they start saying racist, transphobic, Islamophobic, any kind of horrible remarks, you are equally a part of the problem. We do not need to let other people be comfortable in their hatred anymore. It is our job as any progressive white person to stand up and call out bullshit when we hear it, and to make these people feel uncomfortable enough to go back into hiding or to second guess the things that they are supporting, doing, and saying. And no, we do not have to be close to these people, stay friends with these people, have relationships with these people if they are continuously saying things that hurt marginalized people. I have seen too many white people, the minute their black friends aren't around, feel comfortable enough to sit there and listen to some bullshit that their friend might have to say that is racist and not stand up for their black friend. And then you wonder why black people don't want to fuck with us anymore. I am no longer going to not say anything to these people and be quiet. There is nothing okay with what is happening right now. And so if you are new to my page and you have started following us, I just want to let you know right here, right now, one more time, because I said it a few weeks ago, that this is where I stand. And if you come on this page and you spew any hate or any bull crap and you start talking about these other people, these marginalized groups, and you have no facts that even back up what you are saying other than Fox News, I will block you. That is it.
To my white brothers and sisters, I'm not politically correct. I tell it like it is. When I hear someone say go back to your country, it's always from a white person directed at a black or brown person. But that makes no sense because our ancestors weren't from here, and we stole this land and we're still colonizing it. And when I hear black and indigenous and people of color talk about reparations, I hear a white person in the background yelling reverse racism. But that makes no sense because white people have never been and are not being oppressed based on their race. So white people, I have a question. Why are you so afraid of losing your position in society? Why are you so afraid of losing the comfort that white supremacy has given you? Why are you so afraid of actual equality? Learn up.
I'm sorry if you think it's too early to politicize what happened in Georgia yesterday, but I will not allow the NRA to dictate how I talk about this issue that is impacting all of us. The majority of school blank and mass blank that are happening across this country are being committed by white boys. So let me ask you this. If you're a parent, white women, what are we doing? Because this year in April, I got married, and in doing so became a bonus mom of 2 beautiful little boys. And I have to tell you, every day we're combating messaging. Every day we're working on sharing emotions, expressing anger. We're working on things as parents to ensure that we are raising emotionally healthy, mature, communicative young men in the future. So I'm really concerned that that's not happening. What I'm understanding is that yes, this is 100% a pew-pew access to pew-pew problem, but as a culture, we are raising violent human beings. The overexposure and glorification of violence in our households has to stop. You have got to get a hold of what we are showing, teaching, exposing our children to, and being better, more present parents, because this is a problem in white households. So if we are white parents, we have to do something about it.
Can we talk about how miserable white people are for a second? Like, you know that white people are miserable, right? Like, have you ever looked a white person in the eye, even if they're like a big mental health person? You just look deep down and you're like, brother, you are not happy at all. And truly, it breaks my heart. But one reason, I think, one of the main reasons that a lot of white people, a lot of us are really unhappy and miserable is because we lack internal congruence. Now, congruence is a concept we learned early in grad school to help people heal. And congruence is basically internal alignment. Values and actions are on the same page, right? Like, we accept every part of ourselves. We feel peace, security in who we are, congruence. And no matter how hard you try, you can never find internal congruence if you're not congruent with the world around you. If you're not understanding what's real and seeing reality and affirming what's true. So like white people who deny patriarchy and capitalism's negative effect and oppression of the world and genocide that's happening around the world, like that's incongruent with reality. That is going to have an effect on us internally. Because to deny what's happening in real time, we have to deny certain parts of us, certain emotions, certain thoughts that come up. And the more we run for that, the more incongruent and separate we feel, the more dissonance that comes, the more miserable we are. And a lot of times we're not actually dealing with our own pain and our own reality because we're all suffering under capitalism and white supremacy. Like, it affects us different ways in intersectionality, but like it affects us white people too. You don't think a stormtrooper in the fucking Star Wars movies hates his life? You don't think he hates being bossed around all the time? You don't think poor white people living in the empire, like in a city walls, like in a Game of Thrones, like you don't think that they're miserable under it, even though they're not miserable the most? To be congruent inside, to not be miserable anymore, it takes accepting the realities of the world, seeing how those toxic systems affect us, and then moving to actually be congruent. Because deep down, humanity has goodness at its center. So yeah, white people, we're miserable because we're not congruent, because we're denying the realities of the world. And thus...
So guys, I hope you have watched that video and you have seen how white folks, they are coming out and confessing that they are miserable because of their ugly past. So you can see right now we have been seeing majority of America, they are really struggling in America. Majority of them right now, they cannot even afford basic necessity. Majority of them right now, they cannot even afford just to buy just to pay their own house rent. You can imagine, to pay their mortgage. So majority of them right now, they are losing their job simply because they are now coming out and realizing that whatever they've been doing in the past, it was a wrong thing. So right now we are seeing majority of them that are coming out confessing that they have been living ugly. And right now they are so ashamed of it because their ancestor taught them like that. You know, for a very long time, I've been telling you that white people, they have been voting against their own interests. These people, they have been voting just to punish black people. So we have been seeing how the black people, they have been treated, how the challenges and the struggle that black Americans, they have been going through in America. You can imagine how the black people, they have been oppressed, how the black people, they have been given less opportunity in America. And this is because of these people, how they were taught with their ancestors, with their forefathers. So right now we are seeing that these people, they are realizing that they've been doing a mistake and they want to come out and to give apology to the black people. So they want black people to forgive them because right now they are realizing that they've been doing bad things to the people of the color. So we have been seeing these people that have been living in denial that black people, they cannot just be on top of them. They have been living knowing that they have been giving black people less opportunity so that black people cannot thrive in America, so that black people cannot become successful in America. They have been living in a racist world. So right now they are coming out and confessing. I don't know if black people, they will come out and accept this apology from these white folks right now, because whenever these people, they are coming out and confessing, is these people, they want just to give an apology to the black people, because right now things, it is not going as usual as how these people, they want it to be. You know, when these people, they are suffering, when the white folks, they are suffering, when the white people, they are now going through some of the challenges and the struggle, they will always want to involve black people so that black people can help them to overcome the challenges and the struggle they are going through right now. But we have been seeing black people, they've been denying to go and help them. Black people, they have been staying silent, watching them how they are suffering. So right now they are now coming out and say to the black people and confessing that they have been living ugly past because of their forefather. They're the ones who taught them not to give equal opportunity to the black people. You know, black people that have not been given equal opportunity. We have been seeing how the criminal justice in America, it is dealing with the black people. We have been seeing how the courts, it is favoring the white folks but not the black people. So this is to tell you that these people that have been denying all the chance to the black people. They didn't want black people to be taken equal in America. So kindly guys, you can also share your thought on the comment section and tell me what do you think about today's video. I have some of the shocking comment here that I want to read it for you and see what black people they have come out and say. So this one is saying that, as a black man, thankfully to my white brother for speaking nothing but the truth. This one is saying that white men are raised by white women, marry white women and so on. Please don't exclude the white women from the conversation. So this one is also saying that also they are white women that are the ones also who played major role for them having an ugly past. So this one saying that they want to take credit for what their ancestor did, but not the blame for the ancestors they committed. So this one saying that please don't leave the white women. God, she's just as bad. So you can see also people, they want them also to include the white women. So this one saying that their silence is the betrayal. They could have stopped racism years ago, but they love their privilege. So blank them, they are going to lose everything. Yeah, so this one is saying that these people that have been enjoying their privilege, white privilege, but right now we are seeing, since DJT came in office, majority of these white folks, they have been suffering, they have been going through a lot, and they are even regretting for voting for DJT because of how they are going through. And these people, you know, first of all, these people, they voted for DJT knowing that DJT policy will only affect black people, will only punish black people, but DJT policy right now, it is affecting everyone in America, and that's why these people, they are regretting. So this one saying that they are still lynching black men in the South. Nothing is said, nothing is done. So this one saying that it kills me how they are trying to play victim now. They went all over the world raping, robbing and pillaging, and now are upset that people don't like them anymore. Yeah, so these people right now, people, they don't love them anymore, and that's why they are coming out and confessing and putting all the blame to their ancestor. So this one saying that they not happy, they evil. This one saying that White History Month, they celebrate whiteness 365 days a year. Get the F out here. This one saying that he is telling the truth 100%. This one saying that you hear some of the white women speak, they are just as bad. They are behind their men with the racism. This one saying that this need to be shouted out so loudly that it can be ignored. Thank you. This one saying that it's not just the past, they never stopped. This one saying that why are some white men like him so honest and truly understand this is shit while so many other don't? It's crazy at this point. This one is saying that I don't think that they care about the wrong that their people have done in the past. They just want to continue to enjoy what they have now. Superior mentality. Like someone else said, nothing will change. New laws until things start affecting them in terms of their money and their power. This one is saying that they hide white crime for 200 years. But all of a sudden, white people are trying to tell the truth. They are not doing this on their own. Our Father Yahweh is making them tell the truth. They had 400 years to tell the truth and didn't. Exactly. These people, they have been having 400 years of telling the truth, of confessing, of apologizing to the black people, but they didn't. But right now we are seeing they are going through some challenges and the struggle. They are really suffering in America. That's why right now they want to come out and start confessing and start telling people the truth. no, these people, they are up to something else. So this is saying that, and this is why America reached its peak without reaching its full potential. Imagine that. This one saying that evil will never know happiness. It might imitate it, but will never know what it feels like. This one saying that they sure do seems miserable most of the time, and even more annoying just by our presence. You just have to exist and be black around them. This one saying that I agree with the first man who wholeheartedly. This one saying that, and they will pay for it. The children shall pay for their sins of their forefather. Exactly, the children will pay the sins of their forefather. So these people, even if they're coming out and confessing, they should know that they will pay for the damages and the things that they've been doing to the people of the color, especially black people. This was saying that until all of us are free, none of us are free. That lady, she understood the assignment. This was saying that I've been saying this, the only person that can take down the white man is another white man. So this was saying that upholding the white supremacy culture is going to cause America to become a third world country. Exactly. So this one saying that plant good seed, get good harvest. This one saying that where the hype button for this video, because it's need to be seen and heard as a collective truth. This one saying that now this is what a real man sound like. Lord help us all. This one saying that I will never want to be white. Oh, this is saying that their skin color make them look superior. They are colorless. Yeah, so guys, these are some of the shocking comment that majority of the black people that have come out and wrote in the comment section. And also guys, you can also give us your thought on the comment section. I'll be reading it. And also guys, please, you are heading to 100k subscriber. Kindly subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and also like this video so that according to the YouTube algorithm will recommend this video to a lot of people. So subscribe, like, share, and also comment. Thank you so much. See you on my next one. Bye bye.